Heading out to Annie's Marine Park to get some vitamin D on this beautiful sunny day in January 2025. A little western red cedar on the trail. Lots of huckleberries, black huckleberries, ferns, salal. So many things that help you in nature to be healthy, including the sunshine. Beaked hazelnut growing wild on this wonderful island, on Anderson Island in Washington in South Puget Sound. Here's a Scowler's willow. I love these signs in this nature preserve, helping us recognize the different wonderful things growing in this nature preserve. And just enjoying this park all to myself today, as usual. I'm surprised that not very many people use these parks. Here is Douglas fir, and of course our wonderful daffodils already coming up in January. Today is January 25th, 2025, and the daffodils are popping up all over at my house and all over the island. And we have so many wonderful deer that live out here. Wild, lovely deer. I have 3 that call my yard home, my sanctuary. And they don't eat daffodils, so we have lots and lots and lots of them growing all over the island. They do eat most everything else, so you have to deer-proof your yard like mine to have a garden if you don't want the deer to eat it all. Must be 6 foot tall or taller. Here's another one. Clustered wild rose. I started a camp way back when my only biological child, was born in 2002. I started a camp in 2007 and quickly passed it on to the Anderson Island Park Department because they have insurance for all of these wonderful parks. And I wanted to, of course, make sure all the kids were safe and any liabilities would be covered. Many, many, many years later, nothing negative has ever happened, so yay. And I wanted it to promote my 501c3 I had at the time, Young Minds Global Hearts. But then I quickly decided to let it promote these wonderful parks I love. Here we are. Sword fern. Did you know? Sword fern. Let me go back to the bottom side of one. Well, it's winter, so I don't see the little bumps as much. But if you ever get stung by stinging nettle, which grows abundantly out here, also great for you. Dehydrate it and put in your smoothies each day. But if you run into a live stinging nettle, it will sting you, hence the name. And you can tear off a tiny little piece of these sword ferns and rub it on your sting where you got stung from the plant's own protective gear, and it will stop stinging. I also found out while I was at the Northwest Trek from one of the employees there that you can rub a banana slug, a yellow slug, on your stinging nettle. But I love animals so much I wouldn't want to do that to a slug if I can find a sword fern. I believe it's about 3/4 of a mile to the beach. Here we go. Still heading down to the beach, and here's a wall of black huckleberries, wild and free. So many benefits I'll talk about later. Caution about Pacific poison oak. Unless you're immune to it, which some people become, be careful not to walk through it. It's winter, so I don't see any actually active right now, but I think it's cool to know that a tradition with some Native American tribes is to whack the skin of the hunting men of the tribes to stir up the energy before they go out hunting. It kind of gets them pumped up with adrenaline. And they go out and hunt and eventually become immune to it and have to do more and more and more to feel that stimulation from grabbing some stinging nettle and sort of brushing or whacking their skin before they go hunting. There are people on this island whom have become immune to stinging nettle, and my late husband used to rely on them to help clear areas filled with stinging nettle for the landscaping he used to prepare before a final naturescape he would install. Here I am down at the beach, just about to cross over this brackish water, brackish being part saltwater, part natural water from a stream fed from the island. Today is so beautiful. I'm going to go get some sunshine. Here we go across the bridge. The park was so kind to install for us when I first moved to this island 27 years ago. Getting across this brackish water in high tide included some serious muddy waters, like clay-based mud. And you would have to be sure you were prepared for that, or you couldn't even get out to the beach. So here's the beach. Here I am in South Puget Sound, getting some vitamin D. Pardon me. Walking and talking, cleansing my body by allowing my sinuses to flow. And the intent of my visit here today was to look for some of the pickleweed because I'm low in iodine. I don't think you can see this, but I have some spots on my skin little on my hands. And so that is a sign of being low in iodine. And though I would never harvest anything from this nature preserve, Andes Marine Park, I do have friends with private beaches, and there's seaweed all around this island, but I was told by my dear friend and master's degree based holistic healing guru Sophia, that's a pickleweed, that's a nickname because it tastes like pickle, that grows next to salt water, has even more iodine than seaweed. So I just wanted to see how the growth is in the winter. So far I'm not seeing any pickleweed down here because it's probably too cold. But I love the vitamin D. So what does vitamin D do for our bodies? It requires, or our bodies require, vitamin D in order to open the gates on the external receptors of our every cell. We have about 70 trillion cells in our body, and they're surrounded with little gates, receptor sites, and the gates open for the certain nutrients, but they won't open if you don't have vitamin D and vitamin B12, zinc, etc. And I just want to introduce myself here at the end of the video. My goal is to provide health tips and nature and active lifestyle on this channel. My PhD is in health science. My focus is both epigenetics, wondering how our DNA strands filled with our genetic sequencing, unique to each of us, and neurocardiology science, science of the heart and nervous system, and our endocrine systems, our hormonal systems. Those together, along with my multiple certificates through the HeartMath Institute, allow me to promote the highest level of energy for myself and for the patients of my Health, Wealth, and Happiness Clinic. So I'm going to share a little moment of peace on the beach. Make every day a great day by getting some vitamin D and consciously choosing to upgrade your vibrational level so your cells, your nervous system, your endocrine system, that's your hormonal systems, and your connections through your neurons in your cranial brain and your heart brain, I'll talk about in another video, and the little brains in each of your major organs, allowing them to fire off at peak performance so you too can enjoy lots of health, wealth, and happiness. Make it a great day. I'm grateful to be alive here in 2025 with my mission to thrive. You can find more information from my for-profit business, the Health, Wealth, and Happiness Institute. Sorry, it's the Health, Wealth, and Happiness Clinic, PLLC. And that is accessed through drmarylove.com, and Mary is M-E-R-R-Y, so it's drmerrylove.com. And my parallel nonprofit, a 501c3, promoting the same thing with an emphasis on Native Americans and lower income women, is titled or named Lift Others Up, which is also accessible through weliftothers.up.org. Do what you can to lift others up. Do what you can to lift yourself up and motivate the world to enjoy each day. Bye. With love.